Skip Rhoda from Lakeport, California says, on your web videos, you show many interesting features. Which is your favorite?
The features of this car? Well, as I said, people love the where you can block out the radiator and pull in the metal chain, and, you know, it comes up, and I think that's really interesting. As I mentioned, the water pump, it's also the generator. Just the fact that it's 3 cylinders, you can pick it out. And then when Tom came out to see me once, I think he was driving across country, he had an engine failure, he went in the trunk, took out another engine, put it in, and then you keep driving. I mean, how many other cars could you carry a spare engine, bolt break down? I got it, honey. And change the engine. So that was kind of fun.
This is from Dave Murray from Arvada, Colorado.
All right.
Okay, the question is, which Saabs, in your opinion, have been influenced by the design and performance of the Swedish bikini team?
I'm not really aware of these Swedish bikini team a whole lot. I try not to mix my porn and my cars. That's you look at the magazine, they have the girl on the hood. I go, get off the hood, okay? You stand over there, do your naked thing, you put the car over here. That's how you lose half your stuff.
Joan Clark from Ben Salem, Pennsylvania. I would like to know, your wife's response to all your car collecting over the years. I have accompanied my husband all over this country as well as Europe for his car-related events due to his car collecting hobby.
And what is her name?
Her name is Joan Clark.
Joan, how many pairs of shoes do you have? You only need one pair of sensible shoes to walk here, to walk there. That's all you really need, but you have many shoes. And it's the same thing with cars. You have to think of these as our shoes. Plus, when you have reeking of transmission fluid or two-stroke oil, the wife knows where you go. Right, exactly.
A couple more questions here. Okay, Phil Duker asked another question from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Of all the vehicles you can choose from, do you drive vehicles that need to be driven? I think I asked you that question, didn't I?
Do I drive vehicles that need
to be driven, or do you pick the ones that you enjoy?
Well, you know what happens is no matter what work I have to do during the day, before I go to bed, I always like to pick up any of the popular car magazine things, the ones from England and all over, and you just start reading an article. And then if there's an article on Carlson or somebody, I go, oh, I want to drive my Saab because the article got me all worked up about that. So that's kind of what I do. That's kind of how I decide. I mean, I'm sure there are people who have bigger problems in the world.
Joseph Matthias from Liberty, Missouri. Some outside observer refers to cars as quirky. What is your interpretation of this characteristics, and how do you feel about being part of a car community that has to cope with this label?
Well, I think that's good. We live in an era of cars as appliances. See, I have this sort of theory, the safer cars get, the more dangerous the drivers become. Because people don't pay attention. They get in the car. I would almost guarantee you rarely see a Saab owner on a cell phone while they're driving. Just because the car is involving. There's things you have to do, you have to pay attention to. It's just an involving experience. In the same way you have situations, like when I was a kid, all pilots looked like astronauts. They were thin, they had gray hair, they were strong. Now I see big fat pilots, guys who are overweight, because there's nothing to do. They get in the cabin and they sit there and they eat M&Ms and stuff and they watch the screen and everything is done automatically. And it's the same thing with modern cars. Rarely, if you talk to an insurance company, they'll tell you a car like this, an MG, insurance rates are pretty low because people are involved with the vehicle. They understand how it works. They know what it's capable of. They know what it's not capable of. The number of people I meet that say, oh, I got the car, it's got the anti-skid brakes, so you can't skid in the ice. No, it doesn't mean you can't skid. They actually think if you're on ice, you won't skid because you have anti-lock brakes. They have no idea how to use it. They pump it when they come to skid. They're not involved with the vehicle. When you've taken a car apart, put it back together, you feel a sense of sort of father-child relationship with it because you don't want it to be injured or anything of that nature, I mean, how many Saab owners, when they total their car, they don't give the insurance company, you drag it back to the garage, and it becomes a parts car, or you fix it, or you do something like that.
Okay, one last question.
Yes?
Trick question. This is a test question.
Oh, man.
Okay, you better get it right.
Okay, good.
Okay, what is your favorite car?
favorite car, but whatever I'm driving at the particular time would be my favorite. This is certainly one of my favorites. And Tom had a lot to say today, didn't he? Tom, how you doing? Tom, as you see, is the dress coordinator. It's a fine-looking outfit. I got my car from Tom, actually. It was on eBay, and I called him up, and he was great. He actually bought it sight unseen. I do everything you're not supposed to do. I bought the car sight unseen from some guy in Iowa. Didn't make a lot of sense, but you know, when you deal with these kind of people, these kind of cars, there's a certain trust that you have. You know, if you're trying to buy a 2008 Lexus secondhand, be careful. You're buying an old Saab, you're buying an old MG, especially people who are involved in clubs and club activities. They want the stuff to go to a good home, so you tend to, you might pay a little bit more, but you know, you get a better car for the deal. That's right.
And this one actually came from Sweden later in life. Unlike the rest of them, that came at the beginning. This one we bought in Sweden. A friend of mine bought it. He shipped it over with a Saab trailer in a cargo container. And then Fred Marty Adams was contacted by your contact people looking for cars. And Saab USA contacted Marty. Marty got a hold of me, and next thing I know, I got a phone call from some guy claiming to be Jay Leno.
Actually, we met on eharmony.com. It's a lot of fun to drive. I mean, like I say, it's just a unique driving experience. People get in and they love the shape of it. No cars look like this anymore. See, I also contend that when you drive older vehicles, they so stand out in the road. When I go down the road, people, it just sort of wakes them up. How many times in traffic you see people, you know, kind of in those jelly bean Nissans and stuff, they move over a lane. Hey, oh gee, sorry. But you know, you go down the road in something like this, or Duesenberg, or some sort of old, giant 50s car, and people, they actually pay attention for a change. They put the phone down.
All right, Jake, we really want to thank you for the time you've taken here today.
Well, thank you, Tom,
For talking Saabs with us and telling Saab stories.
Yeah, and I also should tell people that, you know, if you ever see a young person look at your car, let them sit in it and let them go for a ride in it. Because what happens is you wind up getting guys in this hobby with hair the color of his and mine, and even thinning hair like Tom. What we need to do is get more and more young people interested in it. And I hate it when you go to these car shows and they have this little sign, unless you're nude, don't touch this car, keep away. You know, whenever I see young people, I express it, it's like, oh, you want to sit in it? And they get behind, and they take a picture. And you know, I've been doing this for so long, I run into guys now in their 30s that come up and go, oh, when I was 9, you let me sit in your car, and they show me a picture from like 25 years ago. And it's the thing that sort of gets them excited. So many dads now have no mechanical knowledge, so they don't pass it on to their sons. So consequently, the kids look at them, but they don't have any feel for the automobiles, you know? I mean, this goes back to when I was 16. That's why I wanted one, because I went for that ride when I was 16. So anytime you meet young people and they express an interest in your car, take the time to show it to them, because he might be the next owner of it. So that's my tip of the day.
I do want to thank you for answering
guys.
these questions honestly.
Tom, thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. And best wishes with the new show.
Thank you.